Let's talk about third trimester pregnancy symptoms that no one prepares you for. I was one of those girls who was terrified of pregnancy. I'd seen the video of like the hand pushing through the belly. I had read the girl with the list of reasons to not get pregnant. And I have just always said that I wish someone could just hand me a baby and that I wouldn't have to go through the whole pregnancy thing. If that's you, I just want you to rest assured that pregnancy, at least in my experience, is nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be. And actually, it's kind of a blessing that I was so terrified because my expectations were so low that not much had to happen for it to not be as bad as I thought it would be. Now that said, my first 2 trimesters, honestly, I could have just not been pregnant and lived my life because I really, other than like a slightly growing belly, didn't really have many symptoms. Other than my skin became amazing. It's now starting to deteriorate again, as are my nails, which is a story for another time. But let's talk about the third trimester symptoms I've been experiencing that no one prepared me for. So first of all, nesting. I had expected that the nesting inclination would kick in like trimester 2, maybe trimester 1. I have friends who've gotten pregnant who have immediately like gone out and bought the crib, bought the stroller, done all the things. I am less than 8 weeks away from greeting my baby into this world and the nursery is nowhere near done. I actually have not bought a single item of baby clothing. We've been gifted a lot, but I haven't bought a single one. And I'm now starting to get into the mindset of like, what do we need for this baby? Researching baby things, reading all the baby books. Someone else put this as nesting my mind, which I love. I am nesting my mind. And this only kicked in my 3rd trimester. The next thing, which I hope I'm not alone in saying this because I feel vulnerable sharing this, but I have felt less secure in my relationship than I've ever felt before. My husband and I have been together for 10 years. We've been married for 4 years. We have a very strong, happy marriage. And yet, I have been finding myself feeling extremely vulnerable in our relationship. I keep thinking to myself, does my husband still like me? But there's just something, I think, about your body changing so much, your hormones pumping through you, that is making at least me feel like I'm 16 years old again, dating a guy for 2 months, and feeling like I desperately want him to still like me and not knowing if he does, but it's my husband and I know he definitely likes me. So like, I feel like I have my logical brain saying, everything's fine, you need to calm down. And my emotional brain being needy and worrying over nothing. No one told me this would happen. Now moving on to more of like the physical symptoms. The first is that while my skin and my nails were amazing in my first 2 trimesters, I've started to notice that they're not as good as they were in my 3rd trimester. And I don't know if this is a thing either, but like you'll see I've got some spots happening. I went to get my nails done yesterday and my nail girl was like shaken at how bad my nails were. But yeah, I always thought that pregnant women have like flowing hair and amazing nails and amazing skin. In my 3rd trimester, this is deteriorating. The next thing is a symptom that I have never in my life experienced. I never really understood heartburn when people would talk about it because I was like, what does that even mean? I now understand what it means because I get it probably like once every 2 to 3 days. And so I now have my handy Tums on me pretty much at all times. Again, I thought that if I was out of the woods in my 1st trimester, nothing could come for me. 3rd trimester, heartburn, it's happening. The last symptom that no one prepared me for is the cramps. And to be fair, I haven't had terrible cramps yet, but I've started to get like aches in my thighs at night, especially if I'm cold, which mean that I have to get up and kind of like stretch and move my body. I know a lot of women tend to get them in their calves. My mom, for example, said she used to have terrible cramps during pregnancy in her calves and she would just wake up screaming. She never told me this until I became pregnant. Conveniently enough, I guess she really wanted grandchildren. The cramps, I'm mindful of them and I'm hoping they don't get worse, but it's definitely something that I'm mindful of. Those are the main symptoms that I've experienced in my 3rd trimester. As I said, they're not that bad. They're manageable. My first 2 trimesters have been an absolute dream. I've been very lucky. I'm very grateful. And I know that my next pregnancy, hopefully if that happens, might not be like this. But I want to leave you with this. If you're someone who's terrified of pregnancy and you have just been imagining the worst, the good thing about that perspective is that, as I said, your expectations are so low that it's not hard to exceed your expectations, which is exactly what I did. I'd love to hear in the comments, what symptoms have you experienced in pregnancy? Have you felt anything that I'm feeling? Please let me feel not alone because pregnancy can definitely feel isolating.